So just before we end off today's webinar, I just want to end off by making you a special offer. This is really just going to take a couple of minutes and be really, really quick. Let me introduce to you an important concept that I teach in my coaching program called the Target Market Matrix. And what you're going to find is that this generally addresses 4 stages of client growth in your business, and your business probably finds itself currently in one of these 4 stages. So at the very bottom here, you'll see you might be in the struggling phase, and what that basically means is that you're not getting any new clients on a monthly basis. So because I'm a marketer, I give it a label. Like, well, you're struggling, right? Not very appealing, but that's kind of what it is. And then you'll see here on the left, I've got some symptoms, right? So just in case you didn't know that you were struggling and you didn't have any new clients on a monthly basis, if you're stressed, worried, you're directionless, you've got fear pressure or paralyzed, that's just another indication. So the question is, okay, well, that's great, but how do I fix that? Well, you can see up here, we've got the keys to success. And how do we fix it? You can see on the bottom here, you go ahead and you educate yourself. So that's pretty much what you guys have done today on this particular webinar. Now, you might not be in the struggling phase, you actually might be in the surviving phase. So that means you are getting new clients, right? But it's probably fewer than 1 a month. And the real problem for you is that you don't know how to repeat that, right? Because it's unpredictable. So, of course, you've got a few more symptoms over here. And now what do you need to do? The antidote is obviously you want to automate. And that's pretty much what I took you through today. You saw a lot of that automation. Now, you may be past all of that. You actually might be here in the thriving stage. So now it's really cooking, right? It is predictable. You're getting 1 to 3 clients a month. Guess what? You still have symptoms, right? But the symptoms change from being negative symptoms to positive symptoms. And the reason for that is because now you want to get to the promised land, right? You want to get to the top here. And because of that, you've got to do something else. But you've already got something that's working. So all you have to do now is you have to find a way to scale it. And then, of course, the last piece is you get to driving. And that's really where you want to be. That's the ultimate. And in fact, if you were at driving, you wouldn't be on this webinar because you wouldn't actually need me. So what I want to say to you is if you find yourself in any of these 3 levels, and particularly these first 2, right? So if you feel that you're struggling or you're surviving, if you're in that phase where you need some help, then what I'm about to show you is going to be really, really valuable for you. So let me jump into it without any further ado. As you can see, the offer for you is to have a 1-hour strategy call with me. And again, we can do that either live or we can do it online. It doesn't really matter. And the reason for that is we want to see if we gel with each other, right? So it's very important both for me to see if I want to work with you and to see if you want to work with me. And the key thing here is to find out whether this is the right system for you. And the reason I do that is because I actually have a number of different things that I teach, and there are actually a number of opportunities and ways that I can help you. And this may not be the best one for you. It is for most people, but it may not be for you. The other thing is that it might not be the right time for you. And if that's the case, that's okay. Doesn't matter, but at least we need to know that. And then once we go through that, we need to know how are we actually going to get it done. And of course, you need to have some idea, depending on what solution we provide you. Remember, it's going to depend on where you are on that target market matrix. That's going to influence the costing, but we'll tell you what that's going to be at this particular consultation. So here's what happened. We're going to start off by looking at where your business is currently. Now, I find that most accountants have never really had clarity on this, and the last time they critically looked at their business was probably years ago, if actually at all. And this is going to really be me guiding you through a very, really focused 1-hour session so that we can really work on your business as opposed to in it, which is what we do a lot of the time. So we're going to consider a lot of things. We're going to consider things like cash flow, client flow, availability of time. So we have to fit it into your business. We've got to see where the obstacles are that are in your business. Then what we're going to do is we're going to look where you want your business to go within the next 6 to 12 months from today, right? So it's not very far into the future. It's relatively close. And we're going to talk about growth, and we're going to talk about expectations, but realistic expectations. Now, believe it or not, with accountants, I actually find the expectations are normally too low rather than too high. And we're also going to then identify the possible constraints and obstacles that have held you back in the past or that actually you may genuinely have at the moment. Remember, I spoke about timing. This is the timing piece. And then we're going to set a realistic action plan for you. And we're going to see how you can actually reach your business and your personal growth goals and how we can work around any of these issues that you may have and how we can actually eliminate them. So if you just want 2 new clients a month, honestly, this is really pretty simple. But if you want a more aggressive growth strategy, then obviously I can help you to do that as well. And then when you leave, we're going to have the strategy, right? You're going to have it all in place. We're going to show you how to get from where you are now to where you want to be in the future. And that's really the plan for you when you leave. Now, my normal one-off consultation rate is 2,000 Rand an hour, if you can even get a consultation with me at the moment. However, you can actually get total clarity on your future business growth and whether you'd like me to help you to implement the signature solution to get you a minimum of 2 new clients a month forever or not. And it's really just 500 Rand. That's all it is. I should just tell you, I just do 10 of these a month because of the time that it takes me. And I do also end up working with quite a lot of the people that jump onto it. So I don't have that much time. So if you jump onto, as you can see the URL there, regularclients.com/discover, if you jump onto that URL, what you will see is if there are still spots available for this month, then you'll obviously be able to book. If not, come back next month and hopefully you'll be able to grab one of the spots because there's only 10 a month. So what I don't want you to mess around with this because we're getting to the end of the year. It's going to be very, very tight. Just go ahead, book it for yourself so that you don't miss out. So this is really the time for us to say goodbye to all of that frustration and the stress of being on the cash flow roller coaster, right? And not knowing where our next client is coming from. I'm sure we've all been there, some times of the month, way too much work to do. Other times people are sitting idle, right? We need to get off that with consistency. And just before you leave, I've got one last parting thought for you. I've really had the good fortune to work with many different professionals in a multitude of different professions. So it's not just accounting and finance. I've dealt with the vets, I've dealt with lawyers, I've dealt with speakers, magicians, consultants, all sorts of different people. And they all have one thing in common, and that is that they are the business. Many, many times they are the business. So this means that if they're not there, the business just comes to a standstill. And I have to tell you this, you have got to be able to free up time in order to free up your business. And here's a thought that a lot of people don't think about, and I know this is a tough one, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. And that is that you are going to have to dispose of your business at some point. The best case scenario for you is willing buyer, willing seller. Right? But in the worst case, you're going to die. Right? If you die unprepared, it's a problem. If, like happened to me, I was forced out of business. Okay, that's going to happen on occasion. Now, if that's going to be the case, your business is worthless. So I walked away with nothing after 10 years of building a practice. You don't want that to happen to you. So having an automated client generating machine that runs without you is actually the fastest way to add a couple of extra zeros to the value of your business. And as an accountant, I think you know exactly what I mean. So as you can see, www.regularclients.com/discover. Everything in this program has been tried and tested hundreds of times, and you've got a unique opportunity to work with me personally so that I can help you to implement this in your business. And all you've got to do to get started with this is a low investment of $500, 500 Rand, and just go there to regularclients.com/discover.